Good evening, folks. I hope it's been a great day where you're at today because it's been a beautiful day here. I mean, beautiful. It still is. It'll be a beautiful sunset tonight. The clouds are just right. When that sun goes down, it'll be a big, beautiful sunset. But unfortunately, what I'm on here to say is we decided me and the girl we date from time to time, or whatever you want to call it. It's just a good friendship. We enjoy hanging out with each other from time to time. We've known each other for so long. But anyway, we had a couple friends out that we've known since we were in school. She's a couple years younger than I am, but she knows who they are. But the pollen is still kicking today. My nose is itching. I've been here about 15 minutes, and it's already getting me. But I went back to Kroger just to pick up a few things that I didn't get yesterday because I didn't know we were going to do this today. So, on with the story. Got to the grocery store, and you know your little battery charged buggies or whatever it is they have for people that need them, handicapped or whatever. And we've all seen it. We've all seen the kids playing on them. We've all seen people that they need to walk, but they're too lazy to walk, so that's why they're using them. And some of them might legitimately cannot walk for some reason. And if they can't, then that's what they're needed for. But the abuse of them is another reason that I don't like that. I'm sorry, I don't like it. I think it's wrong. And not only that, but I think it's a liability for the store, a huge one. In so many ways. I don't even have to tell you all the ways. You can think of them yourself. They get hurt or hurt somebody on them, just period. You're standing for it. Kroger's going to be the ones going to get their ass chewed and sued for it. But I walked in, there was this elderly lady. She had to be 80 to 85. She had osteoporosis. She probably wasn't over 5'3" or 5'4" at the most. Probably 115, 20 pounds. And she went over to the carts. These two kids jumps on these carts and takes off. Well, there was one still sitting there. She goes over to it. It doesn't work, so I went over and I tried to help her get it working. Looked at it, its battery run down. So that's why. So I plugged in. Nobody plugged it in. It'd been sitting there probably no telling how long. So they got plugs all right there. So I plugged it in. And she went over and got her a buggy. And she's like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to do the best I can. I'll get what I can, and I'll just go on back home. I'll come back when I can. And I was like, well, ma'am, I said, would you want me to help you go get some things, some things you want? I'll go get them for you and bring them back. If it's just something that don't require you looking at them wanting to decide what you want. She goes, no, young man, she called me young man, gray hair. She said, no, it's not that. She goes, I appreciate it. I appreciate you offering. And I said, okay. I said, look, if there's any way I can help you, I said, I'll be happy to help you. I don't mind at all. She goes, oh, I understand. She goes, I really appreciate it. So she went on about her way. And I got through there, and I seen these kids on these carts. I grabbed one of the girls walking by that worked there, had her blue smock on or whatever. And I said, is there some way we can get these kids that's playing on these two carts for this lady here to use? She's only going to be able to get a few things because she can't stand here just for a few minutes because she's not able to get around. Look at her. I've offered to help her go get stuff, but she won't do it because she's still independent. And this girl turns and looks at me. Well, she'll just have to do whatever the best she can because I can't make somebody get off the cart. Huh? These kids probably ain't even 20 years old. They're riding around like they're chasing each other on bumper cars. Look at them. I said, really? So I just turned around. I walked up, straight up the stairs, up to the front, to where the people sit that do all the surveillance and security. Knocked on the door. Guy come to the door. I pointed out what I was there for. He said, yeah. He said, I told him, I said, this is the person I talked to down there. And they told me they couldn't do nothing about it and just walked off. Just walked off. And he said, well, they can do something about it. And that's what they're supposed to do. And what was their name? And I told him. So he got on his little walkie-talkie and he called this girl and told her to come upstairs. That she was needed, whatever code that it was he gave. But anyway, he goes out, he catches both these people. One of them was a boy, and the other one was a girl. And so they try to act like they weren't doing anything wrong, of course. He told them, you're going to have to give them up because people need these. And he's like, the boy goes, well, there's still a couple sitting out there. He said, well, the battery's run down on them. He said, this lady needs one right now. And these ain't to play with. This boy, man, he just starts being ugly. This guy. Just being a real little prick, you know what I mean? I'd have said something like that. My daddy would have he'd have stomped me into the mud for doing something like that. I wouldn't even thought about it, matter of fact. And any of you guys on here, or ladies, either one, that had respectful parents when you grew up, you know what I'm talking about. You'd have got your tail dusted good. Right in the middle in front of everybody, too. That's just the way it was. Say what you want about it, but that's the way it was. You had respect. Even if you didn't like it, you still had it. But anyway, these boy and this girl, I went and got the rest of the stuff I got. He was helping this lady, and he took the other one back up front, I guess. And I was checking out. When I checked out, I seen them go by. Well, there was another guy there then. So there was two guys and one girl now. And so when I walk outside of the store, these two young boys walked up to me. Well, they didn't walk all the way up to me because I stopped. And they got a little bit close to me. They was already running their mouth at me. Calling me a narc and just all kinds of stupid nonsense. And I said, hold up. I said, let me tell you something, boys. Don't call me no boy and all this stuff. I said, look, you are a boy. And I said, and you're a disrespectful one to take that away from an older lady. And she was standing there waiting, and you knew it before you even took them. Damn right I went and said something. And I said, I'd do it again and again and again. I said, baby, glad that wasn't my mom. I said, you asked her to come off of it one way or the other, whether you liked it or not. I'd have took you off of it. And that would have been a different situation. But I wouldn't have cared. And I said, now I'm going to tell you just one time. I'm going to my truck. And if either one of you get any closer to me, or you try to put your hands on me, you're going to be in a bad, bad way. I want to go to my truck and leave. That's all I'm doing. I don't need your mouth. I don't want to hear no more. You're not going to be disrespectful to me too. So we're done. Move. I get about halfway to my truck. I hear these feet behind me come up. Soon as I turn around, my instinct, soon as I turned around, when I seen them, the bag I had in my hand, I done pulled it back. I was fixing to rip it right across his head. And it had things in it that I'd have probably split his head open with it. And they kind of jumped back, and I said, you touch me, or you get in closer to me, if you think I'm kidding, you're going to see real quick I'm not kidding. You better get your ass back where you came from. I grabbed my phone out and I said, I'm going to call the police. And if you try to do anything before they get here, I'm going to fix you real quick. I haven't never had to do this. Anyway, cops got there because I had to call them. Just put it to you that way. I shouldn't even said what I said just a minute ago, but anyway, it is what it is. I didn't put my hands on nobody. When they got there, they tried to say I was doing it. There's another gentleman come walking down over, and the cops come up. He stayed. Evidently, he seen the whole thing and heard it. Because he come up and he started telling the cops exactly what I said to him up there at the door. He said, this gentleman just came out and he was going to his truck. He said, they approached him. And then they come running up behind him. They just about got their head knocked off. Because I seen him, he was getting ready to swing that bag. Whatever he got in that bag, he was fixing to do something to them. And they seen it and they stopped. He said, that's why I came down here to where I'm at. He said, because if they would have went on, I was fixing to go down there, and he said, I was going to get into it. He said, because these kids don't have no respect. And I said, that's what I was fixing to tell you. These young kids today don't have no respect for nobody. It ain't just the fact that I'm older. They don't have respect for each other. Or no one. But I said, I'm going to tell you what. The respect thing, they're going to learn one way or the other. I don't care. It might not be me. But if they keep doing what they're doing, somebody's going to show it to them. And he says, do you want to press charges for anything? I said, no. I said, there wasn't nothing done other than the fact that they was going to approach me. I said, if they had put their hands on me, yes. But you'd have been here for a much different reason than that. I said, so I'm going on my way unless you need me for something else. If not, tell me what you need. Because it just makes, the longer I stand here, the madder I get. And he said, I understand. He told the boys, walk over, this time another cop suit. He comes over, he gets in, walks him away. He said, hey, look, man. He said, I get it. He said, we get this stuff. He said, it's all the time. People in their yard working and everything and getting harassed just like this. All the time. It's all kinds of different scenarios. Every day. These kids are up, they got this little thing going on now where they're trying to post stuff online on TikTok and all this stuff where they are doing things to older people and laughing about it and think it's funny. And they get a big following by doing this. So if you watch TikTok and if you've seen these things, well, I don't know what to say to you. Other than that's really effed up. Because nobody deserves to be harassed, and especially people that's older, and especially people that can still take care of themselves if they need to be. Because I would have hurt that boy. Seriously. I didn't want to, but I was getting ready to. And that's the first time I've come close to this in probably 15 years. First anything I've had in 15 years that ever, in any escalation whatsoever. And it was going to be with a kid that just had turned 21 years old and still acting like that. And he was the one. The other one that came up, he was filming it. So they took his camera and the other guy with his statement and everything. So they were settling that stuff after I left. So, folks, be careful when you go somewhere. That's why I tell you, don't be looking at your phone. Be paying attention. Because if I hadn't been paying attention, something would have happened to me today. I guarantee it. They were going to hit me with something or just knock me down or whatever it was. But it was going to happen. But I just turned around just enough time to make him put these brakes on. Anyway, folks, thanks a lot for watching. Stay alert. That's what I tell everybody, please. Stay alert. Watch yourself. Because there are some hooligans in this world. And things are just being stupider and stupider and stupider. Folks, take care. If if you stuck around and listened to it, I hope you got something out of it. At least, if nothing else, be careful. Have a good night, and God bless as always.